The village lay silent under a silver moon, its huts huddled together as if sharing grief. Among them, one hut stood darker than the rest, for inside, a widow wept beside the cold body of her husband. He had been the strength of her days, the warmth of her nights, and now he lay still, his spirit gone to the world beneath. But her heart refused to accept what her eyes had seen. Her grief was not ordinary grief, it was fire. She had heard tales whispered by the elders, tales of a path to the underworld. Dangerous, forbidden, a place where few dared to wander. Yet she was willing to risk it all, for love had bound her spirit to his, and not even death would break them apart. She wrapped her husband's favorite cloth around her shoulders and set out before dawn. The earth was still, but she knew where to begin. She followed the crooked roots of the ancient Iroko tree, where shadows always clung longer than they should, and there, in the hush of morning, a crack in the ground revealed itself like a mouth waiting to swallow her whole. With trembling resolve, she stepped inside. The descent was endless, a spiral of stone and darkness, and yet she pressed on, whispering his name so she would not forget why she walked where no living soul was meant to tread. She passed rivers that ran not with water but with whispers of the dead, each voice beckoning her to rest, to let go, to lie down forever. Still she kept walking. At last, the air grew heavy, and the ground opened to a land unlike any she had known. Shadows moved like people, and people looked like shadows. It was the kingdom of death. The widow's chest tightened as she approached the great hall where he sat, tall, dark, eyes like endless night. "Why do you come here, mortal?" Death's voice was the sound of earth closing over graves. "You walk where the living cannot tread." She fell to her knees. "I come for my husband. He was taken too soon. Return him to me." A silence spread across the chamber, then death laughed, cold and sharp. "No soul returns once it is mine. But you are brave to ask, so I will give you a chance. Outsmart me, and he shall follow you back. Fail, and you shall stay here forever, a shadow among shadows." Her heart pounded, but her eyes did not waver. "I accept." Death leaned forward. "Then here is my riddle: what is stronger than death, swifter than the wind, and more precious than gold?" The widow closed her eyes. She thought of the tears she had shed, the sleepless nights, the emptiness of her arms. She thought of her husband's laughter, his smile, the way his hand had always found hers. She whispered, "Love. It is love." Death's gaze burned into her, and for a moment the underworld trembled. Then, slowly, he smiled. "You are wiser than most. Love indeed defeats me, though I take all. You may have him back. But listen well, walk behind you he shall, and until you both reach the surface, you must not turn to look at him. If you do, he is mine forever." Her heart lifted, but fear coiled in her belly. She nodded, and the journey began. She walked the dark winding path upward, her feet aching, her body weary, but behind her she heard the steady tread of her husband's steps. Every rustle, every shift of air told her he was there. Yet doubt gnawed at her. Was it truly him, or was death mocking her with shadows? The silence was unbearable. Near the mouth of the Iroko tree, she could almost see the stars above. Her heart raced. Just a little more. Just a few more steps. Then, faintly, she thought she heard him whisper her name. She froze. Was it him? Was it only the wind? Tears blurred her eyes, but she did not turn. She pressed on, hand over hand, until she stepped out into the world of the living. The earth's air filled her lungs, fresh and sweet. She turned at last. And there he was. Alive, whole, standing in the light of dawn. The widow wept as she embraced him, and even death could not claim victory. For love had proven stronger than his grip. From that day forward, their story spread across the land, the tale of a woman who outsmarted death, whose courage and devotion brought her husband back from the shadows. and mothers told their children by firelight that night, it is love that outlives all, even the dark. Subscribe for more videos. See you in the next video.